Hi, Denali. Thank you for joining me on this call. So in this series of interviews, we are on a mission to introduce the faces behind Core, the contributors as made for the Cortoshis community and for anyone interested in Core, actually. So I have a couple questions. So let's start.
Sounds good.
Could you tell us a little bit about yourself and your Web3 background?
Yeah, so I studied computer science and actually got into Web3 during university. I started doing Solidity contract auditing over on Ethereum, maybe 6 or 7 years ago. And from then, I worked on a few cross-chain bridges, actually between Cosmos and Ethereum, and then also Polkadot and Ethereum. So spent some time over in the Cosmos ecosystem, lots of Golang, and same with like Rust over in Polkadot, and kind of worked my way back towards the EVM. That's a little bit of like my background. You can definitely tell I'm a blockchain engineer.
Okay. And what do you contribute to in Core?
Yeah, so as one of our kind of core blockchain engineers, I work on a lot of protocol features. So that's also like feature ideation and planning, and then down to the implementation, also like code reviews and auditing of other code that's produced by members of our team. I also am pretty involved with the community, so I contribute quite a bit to our developer documentation and sit in on some developer relations stuff, help out with hackathons, things like that.
Okay. And so could you share with us your journey and what led you to become part of the Core team?
Yeah, so I think it's really two things. First is the vision, and then second is the team. So on the vision point, Core really sold me on the combining the best of Ethereum and Bitcoin and re-energizing this large, like latent Bitcoin value in the Bitcoin holder community that's kind of locked up, for a better word, on the Bitcoin network. If we can nail that, it's the opportunities are absolutely insane. And then on the team aspect, I was really impressed when I first met the Core team and all the contributors that help out from around the world. Just really world-class folks, you know, a lot of engineering, product, and business experience. Really talented in a lot of different domains. So I'm really fortunate to get to learn from the team every day.
That's great. And how do you approach challenges and problem solving with the dynamic environment of CoreDAO?
Yeah, so CoreDAO, like a lot of blockchain projects and especially like a decentralized contributor community, it's a fully asynchronous team. So communication is really important. And you also have to think about time zone differences. Also things like national holidays or different things like that are of course different everywhere. So due to time zone differences, other people might be blocked until you respond and get them what they need. And that can really lock up progress when we need to iterate pretty quickly. So it's important to know when and how different individuals work and then think ahead and get them what they need basically right before they ask for it.
So in what ways do you believe CoreDAO is pushing the boundaries of innovation in the blockchain space?
Interesting thing is that key vision, right, of bringing Bitcoin security to the EVM. We're doing a lot of really fun stuff on the side and have a lot of really cool product features and innovations, but it's all branched off. Most of it, at least, is branched off of that core vision. And I think our long-term goal is to unlock all that Bitcoin and give long-term holders a way to safely earn yield on it, potentially use it safely and natively in DeFi, kind of allow Bitcoin holders to enjoy all the excitement that's happened, for example, in the Ethereum community over the last 5+ years. We saw a lot of activity there, a lot of different utility, and that hasn't really happened to the same extent on Bitcoin. So we really want to nail that, and if we can do that, sky's the limit.
It is really easy to make 1 crore a year. You see, when I was in a job, I used to think that 1 crore, and I never became a crorepati even after working for 16 years.
That, and if we can do that, sky's the limit.
Okay. Can you describe the collaborative culture at CoreDAO and how it contributes to the project's success?
Yeah, so I think the contributors live all over the world, and we're pretty good about understanding the nature of the asynchronous work. So people are very collaborative and work pretty hard to accommodate like individual contributors' availability or their skill sets. Yeah, it's very cross-functional, of course. We're a small group of collaborators and contributors, so you don't have some huge team behind you that's getting stuff done, right? If you want to work on a product feature or write some code, you're the one to do it a lot of times, and that's the nature of a lot of startups, I think. So it's really energizing and fun to work in that environment, and I think it's something a lot of us are looking for and have experience in. Yeah.
And what do you think sets CoreDAO apart from other projects in the blockchain ecosystem?
Yeah, it's a really interesting question. In addition to kind of the technology and the mission that I've already described, I think another really interesting thing that sets us apart from other blockchains in the ecosystem is our large first-time Web3 community. And what I mean by that is we have a very large and engaged community that isn't traditionally using Web3. It's their first time coming to a blockchain. Core is their first blockchain they've ever interacted with. And this is basically a whole new pool of potential users. And it's really part of growing the pie, so to speak, for the whole industry. What that means is we don't really have to fight a lot of these incumbent blockchains for this somewhat small existing pool of Web3 users who a lot of times are kind of chain agnostic and will hop between different blockchains and don't feel too much loyalty or allegiance, let's say, to one specific blockchain. They'll go wherever the yield is best. We actually have our own source of potential users. So it's really, really interesting in terms of that unique advantage.
Yeah. And so how do you stay updated and informed about the latest trends in blockchain, and how does this knowledge influence your work at Core?
Yeah, so obviously, primarily Twitter is mostly how I stay up to date. I mean, that's where the fastest news is always breaking. You also have a lot of builders, innovators there who share their thoughts. But I think a lot of people are familiar with Twitter as a good source. So another source I use is podcasts. So something like Blockworks' Empire podcast, where they have on different innovators and founders of companies to talk. They basically interview them. It's really good to hear long form content from people who are creating in the space. I think it's really provides like unique perspectives. There's different stuff out there, podcasts for more of a technical focus, more of an investment focus. I'm obviously on the engineering side, and because blockchain is a very open market industry, there's a lot of folks more on the financial side. So it's always interesting to get to sit inside the mind of some of those people and how they're thinking about capital allocation or these kinds of questions, which aren't really top of mind for me every day at my work. So.
Okay. And looking to the future, what exciting developments can the community expect from Core, and how can they get involved?
Yeah, so without revealing too much, we have a lot of really, really engaging stuff coming related to our core vision of combining Bitcoin and Ethereum and bringing Bitcoin over to Core. In terms of how they can get involved, we're obviously active on Twitter. We have a Discord, a new YouTube channel. A lot of that is available in English and now also in Chinese. So really, really always excited to see folks get involved and come join our growing community.
Okay, and could you share your Twitter with us so that Cortoshis could follow you probably and see your updates?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I'm pretty active on Twitter. My Twitter handle is just my first and last name, Denali Marsh, DENALIMARSH.
Okay, thank you so much, and thank you for all your answers. And for the Cortoshis, stay tuned for more Core interviews, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel.